All right, so now that we're got our materials all set up, we got our topsoil applied, we can go ahead and add in our site improvements. So on the Takeoff tab, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to select Identify Site Regions. Over here, I'm going to choose the design category. So you can see that all my objects basically turn to red. The ones that are red are the ones that are basically being defined as boundary edges. And over here, I'm going to have layers. So I'm going to create a new layer, and we're going to call this TO. TO underscore site improvement. And you keep it white, that's fine. Let's give it a little bit of thickness, so maybe it'll pop. And we can create a new, let's create a new one called site improvement. So come in here and name this. And close. And close that. So then down here, you can see we're going to identify the site region. So the first thing that we'll do is we've got a landscape area, or we can do the dumpster pad or the heavy duty asphalt. Let's do the heavy duty asphalt, and we're going to call it we'll call it heavy, or we can give it a name. Let's give it a name. We'll call it road paving. All right, you'll see this in the report. And the location, I'm just going to pick, and I'm going to come up here and I'm just going to pick a point there. And you can see that it shades in that area. All right. Now I can come over here and I can choose concrete pavement. And we'll call this, let's see here, parking, and we'll call it parking and fuel island. Okay. And I'm going to come in, I'm just going to put it close to this one. You can see it leaves that little mark there. And I'm going to click apply. Oops. So this is telling me that I already have it, right? So it didn't shade it in. Let me go back to the MSI manager. And under our site improvements, I believe my concrete is a light gray, so it's probably not showing up real well. So if I look at the asphalt, right, the asphalt is a darker gray. So it's probably just not seeing, I guess if you look real close, you can see there is a difference in the color. So if we really wanted to see that a little bit better, maybe we change the concrete color here. Instead of a light gray, we can do a little bit darker gray. And yeah, there you see that shades a little bit better. So a dark gray looks a little bit nicer. You'll notice here is that it's not flooding into the concrete area of our curbing. That is because we define this curb gutter line as a potential boundary. Okay. I'm going to come over here now and I'm going to do the dumpster pad, right? So we'll call this dumpster. And I'm going to come in here and pick inside of that. And we could do the building as well. I didn't define the building, but that's something that we could do. We could define the building. Let's go ahead and do the sidewalk. So we'll call it sidewalk east. and come up in here and pick inside the sidewalk, and then you can do sidewalk west. Now again, we could choose different colors, we could set different textures, a lot of different things we can do. Okay, so now we've got that, and now let's go ahead and put in the seed and sod. Now with the seed and sod, I don't think I assigned a sod, right? So what do we do here? We've got earth and topsoil. So that's going to show up as brown. We could make it green. So I'm just going to call this sod area 1. And we'll go ahead and we'll put in sod in there. And we'll put in sod in there. So it's using brown. And then maybe come in and put in some sod. Sod in that area there. Right? In here, I'm just going to put in the concrete pavement in that section. The details don't really tell us the thickness, but we'll go ahead and use that same material. All right. So that's defining and adding in all these site improvements. Now I noticed in my dumpster pad when I did this, so when I close that, you'll see that those shading areas went away. But there's these little markers here. So when I pick that little marker and I go to properties, you can see it shows the name and the site improvement and everything. Okay. So it looks like I've got dumpster, paving and curbing. So I could come in here and change this if I wanted to. So here, where's where I was parking and fuel island, right? I messed up the name. So I just want to spell that right and change it. So you can change the properties by selecting that site improvement marker. If you want to see these, you can validate the areas if you want to keep those site improvements. So here I can go to my design and I could create a new layer here called, let's go TO_ site improve, validate, and protect it. And then we will come in here, site improvement. And you can put a transparency. But I'm just going to click apply. And you'll see that it keeps those patterns. Okay. Now again, like I said, I could have done green for the grass and made this look real pretty. I didn't do anything for the building. So maybe I come back to identify site regions and click on design, and let's just do concrete pavement. We'll call it building. And I'm going to pick inside the building. Okay. So what I can do is just validate those areas again and click apply, and it fills in that building. All right. So now that I have that, I can build surfaces and maybe start looking at some of the takeoff reports. But a couple things I do want to point out. Actually, as I look at this, I see that I don't have a good, I messed up my curve here. So what I want to show you is how these are dynamic. So if I pick this line string, right click and edit, I can see here that that line comes down. So maybe I need to add in an additional vertice. So you can see here I can either insert before current segment. And what I'm going to do is put in another point here. And when I hit save, you can see that it actually kind of pulls that out. Okay. So let me change that back over here. And then let's do another one here. Okay, so I'm going to insert and we'll pick a point there. Save that. So that just gives us, now watch what happens when I come back and validate the areas. It fixes that line there, right? So it shows me what areas I have paved in. So any of the edits you make to any of the lines, when you revalidate it, they will update accordingly. All right, so next video, I'll show you how to build the surfaces, and you're gonna see that we're gonna get a couple more surfaces based on the materials that we applied.